In the previous example, we showed you how to create a very basic Three.js scene. It kind of looks like this with a polyhedron shape in the scene. In this tutorial, we're going to talk about how to turn this into a WebXR application, and you'll see just how easy it is. So the code for this, as a reminder, you can find it in the basic scene example. And now I'm going to go to to example number one, basic scene WebXR. And again, as a reminder, you can find all these examples by going to glitch.com, intro to WebXR, and then viewing source and remixing this code. So right now, I just took away the parts of the code that made this into WebXR. So if I show this on the right, it basically is this example here. So it doesn't have any WebXR. So let's see what we need to do in order to make it a WebXR scene. The first thing I need to do is I need to import a handy little object called AR button. And we're going to take this AR button. The founder of Three.js, Mr. Doob, has made this utility, which is really, really helpful. It's going to essentially create a little button that you can click on that's going to essentially call and start the WebXR session. We're going to talk about what that means a little bit later, but it's going to essentially start the WebXR session for us, and it's going to handle showing us the little button that says start AR and stop AR, and it's going to check that our phone actually supports AR, and it'll just do a lot of really handy utilities. It'll check that we're using HTTPS, which you have to load every page on HTTPS for it to work with WebXR. So all that stuff we'll get for free by using this AR button. Now, this is the code itself. You can find it on GitHub, but we're going to use a hosted version. So I'm going to actually import this module. So right now we're right here, I'm adding the Three.js library. But here I'm importing this because essentially this button is a module. And you can see that because there's an export variable here at the bottom. It's a module, and so I have to import it this way. So I'm going to import the button. I can log it out for you to see. So if I reload this and I open the developer tools, so view, developer tools, I should be able to see it output here. Right, so here's our class AR button that we're going to use. So we've got that, and then we actually have to add this to the DOM. So I can do document, body, pen child, and essentially I need a button right there, which I can create by doing something like this, AR button, create button, and I need to pass it the render. Alright, so that's my button, and oops, and I can take this and I can append it here. And I can actually log this as well for you to see. Okay, so we've got that. I outputted the button, which simply shows me that this is this button right here, and I'm going to click on it, and okay, it's looking a little funny. It seems to be that this object is sort of following the phone around. That's not exactly what we want to happen, and what's going on is that we're missing one key little line here, which is renderer XR enabled is true, which tells Three.js that we want to use this render for WebXR, for AR in this case, but you could also use it for WebVR. And so let's try this again. Let's log this. Now let's click on Start AR. And now you can see that if I move this kind of simulated phone around, this object stays in space. And it's doing what we want. So this is a very, very basic Three.js scene, that Three.js WebXR scene that you've just created. That's pretty much it. We can also run this on a phone. It's really simple. So if I just take the same URL and I go to basic scene WebXR, you'll see that I can click on Start AR and see the same shape in AR.